There is an unwritten rule in football that says if you do not take or make use of your opportunities, they always come back and bite you. And that is the exact thing that has happened on this game, Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. Because this game, if you are watching the game, this was a game of two halves. The first half was for Nottingham Forest. The second half was for Chelsea. If you go to that first half, Nottingham Forest had so many opportunities. In fact, they should have scored like around 3 or 4 goals there and about, because Chelsea was very shaky. And it's not that even they were creating these opportunities, it was opportunities full of Chelsea mistakes. There was no identity for Chelsea that first half. They were playing as if they were not really, clicking, and they were not really into the game. But when the second half began, and I think partly you have to give it to Chelsea for doing those substitutes and bringing in, the likes of Caicedo, who ended up really changing the game. And the game changed completely. And they ended up scoring those 3 goals. And they ended up, finding a way on how to control over Nottingham Forest. And to be honest with you, it's actually a very well-deserved win, especially if you try and check on how Chelsea has played on that second half, and you ought to give it to them and salute them and kudos and congratulations to them for winning. But if you try and check on Nottingham Forest, to be honest, somehow, I feel like the element of luck was not on their side completely, because so many opportunities they could not even just put on the net. They looked very confused. In as much as Ange Postecoglou today, he tried to play his own style of playing, but it didn't end up working. And you ought to feel for that man, because now it is the 8th game he has failed to win for Nottingham Forest. And everybody is sitting there thinking that maybe this is the end of him, that maybe the owner of Nottingham Forest might end up, sacking him. And to be honest, guys, you ought to feel it for Nottingham Forest. I mean, it's not easy going for those many games without a win. It really, really demotivates players. The morale of players goes down drastically. The other thing I noticed on this game is that I think it's high time Chelsea needs to work on its level of discipline and concentration, because another red card for Chelsea for Malo Gusto got a first yellow card, and then that second yellow card, very unnecessary. They were in control of the game, 3-0. The game is almost ending. Why are you going to take another unnecessary tackle and get a second yellow card, which is a red card? And again, if you try and even check towards the end, their goalkeeper Sanchez gets a very unnecessary yellow card for time wasting, and yet it is on additional time and the game is almost ending. So to be honest, Enzo Maresca needs to work on making sure that his players are concentrating so that they can avoid these unnecessary cards that are really very annoying and can affect even the next matches that they are playing. As it is now, Chelsea is sitting at position number 4 on the Premier League table, having played 8 games and they have 14 points, which is actually quite commendable for them. And Nottingham Forest, by the end of this weekend, they could be sitting on the bottom 3. It is what it is. That is football for you.